this is video 2 for my second free make and take for August. So I showed you in my last video this card and how to make that, and this is the first free make and take packet. So if you spend $25, that's the one you're going to get. If you spend $35, this is the make and take packet that I will send you. And I even label it so you know where you got it from, because I know many of you have several demonstrators that you shop with. So our base is Sahara Sand, and again this one is 5.5 by 8.5, and I just scored it at 4 1/4. Now I'm using some new designer series paper that is upcoming in the Sale A Bration catalog. So let me show you that really quick. I can't show you the inside, but this is our Sale A Bration catalog, and it will start on August 3rd and it runs through September. And then this is our mini catalog that is going to start August 3rd and it will run through December 21st. Okay. So if in any of the catalogs, if you spend $50, then that's how you get to earn, pick an item from this catalog. Okay. So, and then I also wanted to take the time to mention, if you're new and haven't, this is your first time watching my videos, I also offer a rewards program. So anybody that shops with me, you can download this on my blog. It's bobbystamps.com, and you track your orders up here, and they have to be $50 before tax and shipping. Once you have that completed, then you get to choose $40 worth of free products down there. And then you just send that to me, and I order the product for you and have it shipped directly to you. And this is the designer series paper I'm using that is going to be in that Sale A Bration catalog. It's 12 by 12 peaceful prints. This is one of my favorites out of that catalog. I took advantage. I'm offering a winter retreat in October. The information on that is on my blog as well if you're interested. And I am using a lot of that designer series paper. This is another one of the stamp sets that is in that catalog. There is a bundle that coordinates with, it has the framelits that you could use for this. I didn't particularly order that bundle. I did like this stamp set, so I did take advantage of purchasing that. Okay, so your designer series paper, this piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. This piece is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then you have a piece of cherry cobbler that is 4.5 by 3.5, and then I sent you the basic white label that I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies to die cut that out. Okay, let's go ahead and move all of this out of the way, and we will do our stamping. Now I was going to use the Stampin' Blends, and I colored them, and it just didn't look the way that I wanted it to look. So I decided to pull out some oldies, but some goodies. I am using our Watercolor Pencils, and I'm only using the early espresso out of this one, and the cherry cobbler and the garden green out of this one. I'm using Sahara Sand, and those weren't available, so I had to compromise, you guys. So that's what I decided to do. And then I will also tell you, I wanted to use really bad the other sentiment that says, any way you slice it, I'm thankful for you, but I couldn't get that to fit on there. I'd already done my stamping, so I had to stamp this last, and that's why it doesn't look the greatest, because the dimensionals are back there behind that. So you'll have to forgive me for that. So this round, I'm going to stamp that first, and I'm going to use my cherry cobbler ink, and I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp that right there in my top right-hand corner. Then I'm going to use Sahara Sand ink, and we're just going to stamp the little plate that holds the little pies. And you guys are going to have to forgive me because I cannot get my head in the camera, or you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. So it's going to be a little bit hard for me to get this straight on there, because I'm going to try my best. I'm leaning around the side. Hopefully I'm on there and it's not going to be too bad. That's not bad. I will take that. Now I did have to mask in order to stamp the little holder, the little cover there. So all I did was I took a piece of Post-it note, and I stamped the pie plate, or the pie, and then cut it out. And then you're just going to put that right over top of your pie again. And then we'll ink this pretty little cover up and just stamp it right over top. And then when you have that done, you can just peel that up. And I will tell you, my adhesive wasn't where I needed it to be, so I just took some Tombow, just a little bit, and put on the back and kind of smeared it around, let it dry, put it on a scrap piece of paper, and then peeled it up. And it's worked every time with that without peeling up my basic white cardstock. So I'm going to try to remember to speed this part of the video up. If I forget, please forgive me. I am also using our, as I throw them everywhere, our blender pens. Let me move that back out of the way, okay? So I'm gonna start with the cherry cobbler, and I'm just gonna go around and color in anything that I want to be the cherry cobbler. So I'm just gonna do these little thingies up here. And then after I get all these colored in, I will go back in with the blender pen, blend them together. And you do want to be careful because you can make your paper start to peel when you're using the blender pen. You can't overdo it with that. So you just kind of put your pencil down, your colors that you want to use, and then go back in. But you'll kind of see they'll start fraying if you're putting too much of that on there. And then the other thing I want to tell you too is you have to have a scrap piece of paper. Mine fell on the floor, so let me grab it. So you need a scrap piece of paper, and then when you do your blending, you just kind of keep your brush tip clean before you mix it with another color. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's go in and just color those in on top. And it just kind of blends that ink. So it also takes away your ink strokes, I think. So they don't look so, you can't see the lines, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's color that. Now I'm going to use the dark, the garden green to do the leaves up here at the top. I'm trying to tell you all the information before I speed it up, and I may not even speed it up because it's not really going to take that long. And there's so much I want to tell you as I'm doing this. So this is what I mean by this. Let's clean that off. See how we just used that cherry cobbler? So I'm going to do that until I see no more ink on that. And then I should be okay to go in and use it for my garden green color. Because if I didn't clean that off, it would take that cherry cobbler color and put it right on top of my garden green. And I wouldn't be very happy about that. Clean that off. Okay, now I'm going to use the Early Espresso. Oh, you know what? Let's go back in with this because I almost forgot. I need to color this. Now this, I wanted to be a little bit darker. So I am pushing a little bit harder on this. When I use the Early Espresso, because it's not the color of my Sahara sand, it's darker, I'm going to have a very light hand when I color that because I do not want that to be dark at all. But it was the closest color that we have available to use, so that's why I used that. And I try to stay going in the same direction when I'm coloring, just like when you're coloring with crayons when you were little. You just kind of keep going in the same direction. I kind of popped out of the line there, but that's okay. I'm trying to hurry for the video. So I'm just kind of coloring it in. And like I said, I am pushing a little bit darker. Then I went over the shadow pieces that are supposed to be shadowed. And I did push a little bit harder there because I do want that to be a little bit darker. And then let's go back in with the blender pen. And then you just simply go right over that and see how that just brightens that up. I have not used my watercolor pencils in a very long time. Very long time. It has been, I can't even tell you the last time I pulled these out to use them. You know, we came out with the Stampin' Blends and I think everybody was just kind of sold on them, and then we all kind of forget the other tools that we have. Okay, So that's just very important that you clean that off in between uses, or remember to do it before you start on a different color the next time you go in to use it. So I did color this bottom part in here. And like I said, I have a very light hand on this because I really wanted this to appear like it was my Sahara sand, or just a smidge darker is okay. But, you know, if I really wanted that early espresso color, I would definitely be pushing really, really super hard. But I'm not. I'm just barely using pressure on this, okay? And then I did go a little bit darker here in the center because I wanted the contrasting colors like the shadow. So I did push a little bit darker doing this. And also I did a little bit darker on the bottom because I think always when you make a pie, it's always a little bit darker. The crust is just a little bit darker than what the top is. Or that's how my pies turn out anyway. So I'm just gonna kind of blend all that color in like that. And then again, I'm gonna go in and just darken. Oh, I totally did not mean to do that, you guys. My nose, as I told you earlier. Now this one, I'm gonna go really super light up here. But my nose was running and I went to wipe my nose and accidentally made that mark that I didn't mean to make. Okay, so I just did really super light there, and now I'm just going to even go back in down here and really darken this up before I put my blender pen to use again. So let's just darken that up, and then grab the blender pen, and again, you just blend right on top of that to blend in your colors. And you just want to be careful, like I just went over the cherry cobbler and it did kind of pull, see right there, it did kind of pull that. But I'm okay with that because sometimes when you make a pie, it does kind of dribble down. So I am going to be a little bit careful down here and try not to go through these because I don't want it down here. I'm just going to be very careful about that. Okay. That is good. I'm good with that, you guys. And you can even, you know, do the line here and there and then again there if you want to darken that up just a bit. Oh, and there's one right there we can darken up. Okay, let's start putting it together now. So let's go ahead and we'll just put this layer down, and I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal. Okay. And just put that right there on your card front. Let's put the next layer down, which is our cherry cobbler layer. Some of you guys might say it's way too early for Christmas cards, but I say, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of this piece, just like that. Those off. No, it's only August, I know, you guys, but I wanted to showcase some of these beautiful bundles that are coming out and just get everybody ready for Christmas, because in all honesty, I hope I just didn't hit that with my head, you guys. In all honesty, it's going to be here before we all realize it. It really is. Okay, let's see, about right there. Okay, guys, there you go. That is my second free make and take for August. I'll be right back with my third project, you guys.